Hello, Leo. So here's your reading for the week of February 19th through about the 25th. These are general. Take what works and what doesn't work just doesn't work. But if you stumble upon this reading at a later date, there may be something in it for you. But let's see what the cards have to say. In your recent past energy, you have the Seven of Swords. In your current energies, you have the Six of Swords. In your near future, you have the King of Wands. Your challenge for the week is the Eight of Wands reversed. And what is recommended for you is the Ten of Pentacles. So this indicates that in your recent past, or the past, whatever situation this represents for you, you had to kind of be a little bit strategic with something. You had to kind of come at something a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside the box. You had to really figure out more of an effective way that may not have been as conventional as some other ways, but you had to be a little bit sneaky with something, but not necessarily sneaky in a bad way, but you had to be a little bit cunning. The Seven of Swords could also indicate deception. So maybe there was a little bit of sneakiness, but sneakiness on a little bit of a deceptive way as well. I always see this as a positive card for the most part, but there is a meaning of sometimes somebody could be trying to take advantage of you a little bit. But I feel like with whatever this situation represents, you kind of had to kind of come in a little bit different with it. And maybe it was a little sneaky. I don't like to think that we're being deceptive to other people, but it was a situation that you were dealing with that maybe you felt that somebody was deceiving you a little bit, but or you felt like you had to kind of be a little deceptive, or it was something that you didn't feel quite fit your energy. But what's coming in for you is the Six of Swords, and this indicates moving on from a turbulent situation to now calmer situation. And these are our thoughts here. So you might have experienced, and it definitely could be stemming from this Seven of Swords here, a period of time where you felt like things were against you. Because I feel like sometimes we have to go into this mental sneakiness, this little bit of strategy, because we are up against some odds and things may not be going quite in our favor. So then we have to be a little resourceful, however that is. So we have to come at things a little bit different because it's not so smooth sailing. It's not like clear cut, and we have to just kind of come at things a little bit left field. And that could be stressful because with this card, you never really know if it's going to work. You know, is your strategy, or what are you doing? A lot of times when you have these strategies, you're implementing them potentially for the first time and you don't know what the outcome is. So you could have been a little bit stressed out over this situation. But currently, your current energies is the Six of Swords here, which represent that you're leaving a turbulent mental state behind and you're moving to calmer shores, in a sense that you're trying to now move from probably the stress, having to feel that you have to be kind of cunning or strategic or maybe even a little deceptive, but into a state of where you just have more peace and more calmness. Now, this card always has the feeling of being a little bit somber with something. There could have been something that had happened that didn't quite go well, or you might have felt that I don't want to say that you looked bad, but there could have been something that wasn't very good, or the situation might not have been very great to begin with, but now you're trying to leave old hurts, old wounds behind and move to a more of a stable, solid structure. Now, the King of Wands represents what's coming in for you, and this is a fantastic card. Now, to me, he's a very outside the box thinker. So I think it's very interesting that you've had the Seven of Swords here in your recent past, which to me, you have to be a little bit outside the box as well when you're being strategic. And now what's coming in for you is really like leveling up into this kind of energy. The King of Wands, he's very charismatic. He's able to get other people to believe in his dream, or he's able to inspire other people that it makes them want to kind of almost like follow him, but it makes them feel that what he's doing is really beneficial for everybody. So it's a great energy. It's a great energy of being a very exciting leader, a very charismatic leader, or being in a position where people just view you as a person that's able to achieve like a goal or a dream or something that seems maybe a little bit unattainable. So that is super positive. But your challenge for the week is the Eight of Wands in reverse. Now, this indicates delays. You might be getting some delayed news or something this week that you're not really moving as quickly as you would like. And when this happens, sometimes we get a little bit like, you might feel that it's never going to happen or things aren't going well. You might get a little bit of a mental or emotional setback or a feeling of like impatientness or kind of not quite happiness. And I think because the Six of Swords is here, so you might already be a little bit in that somber moment where you're feeling a little like blah, maybe a little like sad in a way. Because I get this sometimes when I'm feeling a little blah, a little sad, but it always winds up being okay in the end. But during it, it's a little bit like you're leaving something behind. You realize you have to move on to something different. And it's not always easy, but you might be experiencing some kind of setback or delay. But what is recommended for you is the Ten of Pentacles. Now, I think this is saying that you just need to feel that you have everything that you need. Like, because this is a fantastic card. This is a card of really long-term success, building something for the long term that's really sustainable and extremely positive. So I think you just need to be in this energy, or just remind yourself that whatever you've been working towards, you have to continue to gain your Ten of Pentacles, whatever that represents for you. Because the Ten of Pentacles, this did not come. These people worked for this. This is not like, okay, somebody waved the magic wand and all of a sudden you have this. You have to put the hard work in. You have to put the daily effort in to achieve this. You have to have the foresight, the long-term goal, the long-term idea, and that every day trying to strategically figure out the next steps. So this is not an easy thing to achieve, but once you've achieved it, you've almost gained like a certain mastery of the process. So I think this is saying that you need to remember or remind yourself during this moment of this week when you're having these delays and you might be feeling a little melancholy of why are you really, what the work that you've put in, because I do feel like this is a card of you having to be a little bit outside the box, come at things a little riskier in a way. All the risks that you've taken to achieve a certain kind of goal or learn along the way, like I think this is reminding you that of the reason why you did all that. So I think that's really positive. But with the King of Wands coming in for you, I think you're going to actually be gaining a level of status, and I think you're going to be kind of gaining a level of pride as well. Okay, let's see what else we get for you. Okay, so you have Stag Spirit, take the lead. And I feel like this is definitely telling you that right now, the King of Wands, he's in a leadership role. So he's taking the lead, and he's actively taking the lead. He's not just one of those leaders that are just there as a figurehead. This guy is the one that's going to come out with some crazy ideas or crazy plans if he needs to. Like, he's definitely an outside-the-box thinker. And he's willing to try things. He knows that sometimes you have to try things. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but he's willing to take that action and he's willing to take the risk. So I think this is saying that whatever is going on, maybe with these delays, maybe this is saying that there might be a different kind of way to go about it as well. You might be able to take a lead in a certain kind of situation or go about things a different kind of way, potentially, to minimize these delays. So you'll know for yourself in your situation, but you just need to kind of remind yourself, I think through you taking the lead, you just remind yourself what your ultimate goal is, your Ten of Pentacles, what your happy life looks like, what your future self wants, and keep that in mind as you're kind of trudging through this a little bit. Now you also have clear quartz, get crystal clear, and I think this is, you have to get crystal clear about what your Ten of Pentacles is. Because if you're going to go through all this, because I feel like this is a little bit of, I don't want to say struggling as in a bad thing, but you might be in a point of your life where you're trying to figure out the next step and you're trying to get things done a little bit. And I I think it's easy for us to get derailed or stop. Sometimes when we're hitting up against obstacles or blocks or something, it's always easier to just stop trying versus push through them. So I think this is saying that get crystal clear about what you want, and maybe that could help you formulate a plan. Like if you need a little bit of a better plan of action, if you're crystal clear of what you want, you could figure out that plan of action a little bit easier. And it's always good to remind yourself of why you're doing something. So in the moments when things are just a disaster and you're upset, bad news has come your way, you're like, well, okay, at the end of the day, I'm doing this for X, Y, and Z. So it's always good to kind of keep that long-term goal in your mind. The runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, listening to ego. So I wonder, for some of you, maybe the Six of Swords is a little bit, your ego could have been bruised in a situation, and now you have to kind of move on from certain aspects with that. Or this could be that you're moving on from something that was a little codependent, and this could represent a person. It could just represent anything for you. We could be codependent on even just situations or things we do every day, habits we have. We could be codependent on those habits to make us feel like even though we know those habits aren't good for us, it's something that we know. It's always something that you know how it is, you know what to expect. So it could just be codependent on anything for yourself. But I think this is saying that you need to, maybe some of these habits or these codependency things you're starting to realize are not serving you, and you have to you're in the process of moving from them, because this could have been you figuring out a strategic way to move from it, and now you're might be ready to, you're actually starting to move away from it, and that's not always easy. So, and then there could be a little bit of setbacks, but then the King of Wands is saying that you're going to manage it, and you're going to figure out a better way to go about it. So calling in your soulmate, your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help you bring you together. And I think this is saying that when you're crystal clear on something and you really have that in your heart, what you really want, it helps manifest it to you, or at least it helps you have an idea of what you're looking for. So when you see it, So it's just kind of also saying just be aware of what do you want. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. And I wonder if some of these red flags are going to be with this the Eight of Wands in reverse, because these delays, there could be some type of thing where and it could be something that could have been a potential problem, and then all of a sudden it is, but it was a red flag, and you're like, oh, I have a feeling that this may go one of two ways. So this is just saying, just be aware of it. Because if you have the heads up of something potentially being delayed, it might help you plan around it. So, for instance, let's say if you know that you need to have, let's say you have to order something online, and the package, you really need it to be here by Thursday. So, but you're knowing that sometimes these things get delayed. Maybe if you order it earlier, let's say, you'll avoid the delay, or if there is a delay, you still have enough time, for instance, if to have it. So it could just be even things like that. Be aware of red flags like that. Don't do something last minute where you have a feeling that there's a potential for it to get delayed. So that's just all that's saying. Now for your positive quote, we have, sometimes it takes a good fall to really know where you stand. And I feel like with this what, honestly, even with the Seven of Swords here, you could have been trying to be sneaky or strategic with something, and maybe it didn't quite work out 100%. And that could have caused you the bruised ego and maybe a little bit of this fall with this Six of Swords, having to move on from something. But I think sometimes these are life lessons, and then you kind of know how to proceed forward a little bit better next time. Now with your affirmation card, we have, today I am free of drama. Today I will let go of the people that do not support me and only surround myself with positive people. And some of that could have been this codependent situation and these red flags. So, and it could be you moving away from somebody as well. And let's say if this represents somebody that was being a little sneaky and deceptive to you, you could have found that out, and then you're now moving forward. And I really feel that your better things are coming in for you, even though sometimes there's delays with moving forwards. It could be like if you're codependent, maybe you fell back into that pattern. But I think with the King of Wands here, this is saying that you're going to take action and you're going to be decisive about it. So and you're going to have a plan moving forward. So that's really positive. Now, for your little Bob Ross, you have, did you ever think you could just take a great big old brush and make all these beautiful little trees? You really can. And I think this is saying, don't forget the type of life that you want to paint. You are the master of your destiny. You can create whatever you want, you know, so you just have to take your own little brush of like life or whatever and paint whatever you want in it and just work towards those goals to attain the desired result or what you want. Okay, and now for your spirit of the dish, what spirit of the dish shall be with you this week? We have the spirit of the refried. Which is the spirit of the refried beans. There you go. For your dinner and a movie, you have comedy films and Mexican food. For the energies you either need to be aware of or tap into, you have, oh, I just moved that, but you have two not Sagittarius, it's Scorpio, sorry, the other S. So you have two Scorpios, and this is about transformation and major changes. And considering you have two of them, I feel like it's really telling you something. And you also have Saturn, you have two Saturns, which is about restrictions, responsibilities, and life lessons. So I think some of these like restrictions, because I feel like with this Six of Swords, it could have been like you had some restrictions and you're moving on from that. So there's definitely something about that going on. You have the first house here, which represents appearance, ego, interest, and the self. So you have another thing about potential ego a little bit. So maybe for some of you, you know, maybe it took a hit to the feels of some kind. And you also have the sixth house, which represents health, details, order, work, and structure. Your special guest today is the odd numbers, so that represents the magic 8 balls. So think of your questions, Leo, and the magic 8 ball will be here shortly. Okay. You have V, C, P, D, B, D, L, 5, 6, 9. And you have wealth. Now, I think this, because the 10 of Pentacles can be a card about, you know, abundance and wealth. So for some of you, this might be kind of financial wealth. Others, this might be, you know, just things that you want for yourself, like, you know, emotional wealth, you know, emotional happiness, wealth of being happy, and a wealth of good people around you, family. Wealth could mean whatever wealth represents for you, because it could represent different things to different people. So I think this is just reminding you, or going with that, you want a larger goal, or whatever this 10 of Pentacles indicates for you. I think this is saying that, you know, it's just here to remind you that you can get it. Okay, let's see what a little charming we get for you. And you have, okay, so the moon with the stars. So this one always reminds me that you want to, what does they say? You want to shoot for the stars, but if you land on the moon, that's really good too. So I think this is saying, don't limit yourself on your dreams. If you have a really big goal, wish, or dream, you could do it, Leos. You could do it. So this is just saying, just remember what you really, really want. Even if you aim so high, it's okay, because wherever you land, it's still going to be good. So that's great. Okay, Leos. Let's bring our special guest over today. Okay, Leos, think of your question and let us ask. Oh, mystical, magical 8 ball, the mightiest ball of all the balls in the world, what is the answer to Leo's question? It says, it is decidedly so. The 8 ball has spoken. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.